Taking a look at today's equity index futures markets, let's look at the S&P 500 futures as they're holding on to a gain today. S&P 500 futures coming off of 6 consecutive lower closes to trade higher today. Currently up about 0.75% or right around the 5,045 level as we move towards the close. Now we did see much higher levels intraday. We were up well over 1% throughout the afternoon, but selling pressure late in the day negated some of the upside price action today, but still holding on to a gain when you look at the price action and stemming, as I mentioned, some of that recent selling pressure where we did experience 6 lower closes. And looking at some of the driving factors, a couple things here influencing the markets to start the week. Number one, geopolitical tensions are continuing to temper to some degree as we're seeing a bit more de-escalation concerns over the weekend that something could happen, and that typically does lead to some higher volatility and some selling pressure that we did see last week, and really was continuous on the geopolitical tensions. And we did not see too much of a shift there, and actually possibly even a little bit of a de-escalation. And that's, I think, one of the factors contributing to the higher price action. Couple that with oversold conditions. We did see heavy selling here the better part of the last week, and it does appear that after initial higher price action, some selling pressure early in the session, we did see buyers come back in throughout the day and able to hold on to gains here today. Now, later this week, we have earnings really kicking into gear starting tomorrow with some of the big names this week when you look at Meta coming out, as well as Alphabet and Microsoft. Those are some of the big 7, but we also have a swath of other industrial names coming out this week. A big chunk of the S&P 500 is reporting this week, so that's going to influence the markets along with some data throughout the week. And so you look at the general trends. We're looking at the S&P futures holding that 5,000 level, able to get back above there now into the middle of the 5,000 handle between 5,000 and 5,100. So at least stemming some of that recent selling pressure. And across the board today, we're seeing higher price action in the major U.S. equity index futures markets, where we did see the Russell actually hold on to a 1% gain, a little higher than that actually throughout the day, where all the other major averages were still up nicely on the day, again, negating some of the heavy selling pressure from last week. And to start this big earnings week with higher price action for the S&P 500 futures.